In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to make the baby panda. I haven't made him yet, so we'll do it together. And this is the big panda that I made in another video. So let's get started. And the first thing I want to do is make the eye, since some of you are struggling with it. And this time, I'm going to make it on the loom. So we're going to use the we'll start with the second peg from the bottom. And we'll go ahead, take whatever color eye you want and loop it around 4 times around that second peg from the top, from the bottom. So that's 4. And then the around the eye, the pupil, I'm going to make it black. So I'm going to take a single black and I'm going to loop it around twice on one side and then twice on the other, like I would on the hook. And if you can make it on the hook, just go ahead and make it on the hook. But I'm going to do this on the loom. Again, just wrap another single blue rubber band, the eye color, on the third peg from the bottom. Take a black, and this will be the coloring around the eye, the pupil. So now that we have this, we're going to take a single white, which is, or whatever color your panda is going to be, the face. You're going to put it at the base, and let's transfer the eye onto that single rubber band. So what you're going to do is you're going to reach in the first peg there where the eye is. You're going to reach all the way under, like it's a cat band, all those eye parts. You're going to grab that single white and carefully take it off of the peg. And there's going to be a lot of tension because we wrapped the other ones 4 times, or both of those eye color 4 times. So go ahead and take your hook and release it, and then attach it to this peg there, the one to the left of it. And then go ahead and take that eye off your peg. And there's one of your eye off. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. We can transfer this back so that way we can have a place to hold. So your one eye is transferred. And now let's do the other. Same thing, we're going to reach in, grab the white rubber band, and very carefully, there's going to be a lot of tension. Go ahead and take your hook or another hook and help ease that rubber band out of the white, so your eye can be transferred onto that single white. So there you see my white is now, all the eye parts here, the second eye is onto that single rubber band. And now you can go ahead and use your hook, the back of it or the front of it if you don't have a small one like mine, and go ahead and transfer it. And there, your eyes are now on that single rubber band. And take it off, and you can fix it later. Again, you have to be really careful because there are these rubber bands here are looped 8 times, or both of them 4 times each, the blue and the black, and it's going to be very, very tight in your rubber band. The white one will most likely break, so definitely use a hook or something to help ease the tension. So now let's do the legs. The legs, we are going to do just 2 sections. So taking 2 single rubber bands at a time, we'll work at the bottom of the peg there. We'll do the front paws here. So 2 rubber bands at a time, 2, and then we'll do the other side, the other front paws, and we'll add the back leg onto the body once we do our panda. So now we're going to take a single rubber band, and we're going to cap it off 4 times. And that'll be his little paws, front paws, 1, 2, 3, 4. So now that you have that, go ahead and take your hook, go under those cap bands, grab the bottom 2, and loop it onto itself. Again, if there's any tension, don't force it because your rubber band will break. And finish up the paw. Again, the second one. And then go ahead and transfer it onto your holding hook or whatever you have to use. And now let's make his ears. For the ears, we're going to we'll do everything on the loom so it's not confusing. So we'll take a single rubber band, we're going to double it, put it on the end of your loom there. Another one, this is our second ear. A single, double, put it on the other side, and we'll go ahead and loop it in the end here 4 times, 3, 4. And if you can't do 4, just go ahead and do 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, it's going to be very tight. So go under that cap band, grab the bottom 2 rubber bands, and looping it onto itself. And very carefully, if there's any tension, just release it. And then put it aside for later. So now let's do our body. And so let's go ahead and use the white, starting at the top of the loom, 2 single rubber bands at a time. And we're going to start diagonally like that for both sides, and then coming 1 down, 1 peg down, 2 single rubber bands at a time. Again, repeat on the other side. And now we're going to go into the chin because he's tiny. From the second peg to the center 3rd peg, and go ahead and push it down so that way it's easier for us to loop later. Finish the other side. From the second side peg to the 3rd center peg, and pushing it down so it does not overlap, like so. And now let's come from the top of the forehead. Again, we're going to do all white. I just saw we needed to make a nose, so we'll go ahead and do that. So there, that completes his face. Let's go ahead and finish the body before we do the nose. So we'll take 2 single black and put it from the chin peg to the side peg, and repeat it on the other side. And we're going to skip. We're not going to connect the head to the shoulder, so that's what we have from the chin to the side, and then down 1. Same on the other side. And then we'll do from the chin to the center, down 1. That's your black. And now let's finish the white for the rest of his body. Just down 1. Same on the other side. The center. And now bring it in. And if you want him to be much, much smaller, his body will be so tiny. You can stop here, but we'll make him this size so that way his belly has more white to him. So there he is. Make sure these rubber bands don't overlap either because we'll have to fish him out later. Let's make the nose. For the nose, we're going to take 2 single rubber bands, 2 whites because his face is white. We are going to double it and we are going to put it on the end of the loom here. Then we're going to take a single black and we're going to loop it around 4 times to make his nose tighter. And now go ahead under the cap band, those black bands, grab those white rubber bands and loop it onto itself like that. And now we're going to take, since it's going on the face, we're going to take a single white and we're going to use it to hold his nose. So carefully take it off the loom so it doesn't come apart. And there's his nose, and put it aside for later. So we're back to the body, and let's go ahead and put the nose on since we have it. So for the nose, we're going to put it from the second peg from the top across. Again, you can adjust the nose later. The rubber bands won't always be in the right place or the right stretchiness for us, so we'll have to change it later. And let's add the eyes. For the eyes, we can add it to the same 2 pegs there, the second from the top on the side all the way across. On the other one, and then lift it up above that center peg from the second one from the top. So that's the eyes and the nose. And let's get our ears off and make sure you get all the rubber bands onto the ear so that the ear doesn't come apart. Let's add the other one right onto that first side pegs for the ears. And let's add the legs. I'm jumping all over the place here. So now the legs, again, we'll do 2 from the 5th peg down, 2 rubber bands, and then coming 1 down. That's all his legs going to be, very short. Let's do the other side, same thing. Down and 1 down, and then we are going to take a single and capping his paws, back paws there, 4 times. 2, 3, 4. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you want his paws bigger, you can go ahead and cap it off. Take 2 of them and cap it off 3 times. That will work too. And now let's cap off his belly there. Take a single white, since his belly is white, and cap it off 3 times, if possible 4. For it to be tighter, I'm doing 4. So now let's do the holding rubber bands. So our bear here, our panda, will not come apart. So we'll take a single rubber band, putting it around the belly, and you want to choose the color that matches the side here. So that's white, I'm doing white. And then I'll do another white, or actually I'll do a black. Since the black is on top, I'll do a black there for the second belly, bottom of his belly there. So a triangle there, and we'll put a triangle around his face to hold his face together. And now that we have that, let's go ahead and start looping, and we'll start at the feet. There, we'll go under the cap bands, grab the bottom 2, and looping it onto itself, and make sure you see teardrops. And continue up the leg and stop where the black is. And we're going to now do the belly. Start at his bottom, go under the cap band, the white one in the middle there, and reach in. If you can't see it, pull the rubber band, separating it a little bit. And we want to grab the top 2, which should go up the center of his body, of his bottom of his belly, and looping it onto yourself. And you know you're doing it correctly if you see teardrops. And if you grab the wrong one and it happens to not create the nice teardrops here that we see, then, I mean, it still works, but it just looks a little messier, but you want to grab it in order and you want to see the teardrops. So go ahead, reach inside there, grab the last two, and looping it onto itself. Now let's go up the side of the belly. And if there's any tension, make sure you release it, because if you force it, you'll break your hook and you'll break your rubber band. Either or could happen. And stop at the shoulder because we're going to add the arms. And let's do the other side. Again, if you can't see it, pull the rubber bands down, put your hook right inside, and grab it, making sure you have teardrops as you're looping. Go. And now let's just do the center of the body, just one. We'll wait to do the shoulders after this torso there. Now let's take our leg off the loom, or our arms there. Take it off the loom, put it inside the loop. Grab our shoulder rubber bands. Make sure you hold the other ones down so it doesn't come off. Slide it onto that rubber band and hooking it onto the chin peg like that. Now we're doing the second one, same thing. Take it off the hook, the holding hook. Slide it into the loops. Grab our shoulder rubber band, and when you're grabbing it you see the teardrops, which is good. Slide it onto that hook of the rubber bands, and there our arms are on. Now let's finish up that torso. So our body all has teardrops, and you want to check to make sure before you go on you have teardrops all down your body. Now that we have, let's go ahead and reach in that chin peg, and this is easier to see because it's all white. So we're going to grab the first two whites on top there, and it should go above the nose, and do not force it, and looping it onto itself. And now let's do the next two, and you can kind of see, if you look to the side, tilt it to the side, and you can see which one's the next top two, and mine is going on the right there. So I'm going to reach in, grab the next two rubber bands, and very carefully, if there's any tension, you don't want to pull it, use your extra hook to release it, and looping it onto itself. And if at any time your rubber band break, it's kind of like peeling back layers, just go in there and kind of put your hook on there. Let's grab the last two here, and just remember which layer, you work it by layer to see which one is first. Just remember which rubber bands go where, and just kind of peel it back and put it back the way you found it after you replace that broken rubber band. So there we have our chin now. We finished our chin to our cheek, and now let's finish the side of the face. Grab the bottom two and looping it on to itself. Let's work the other side. Make sure you have teardrops. Let's go inside the ear. Grab the bottom two. If you cannot see it, just look on the side or pull it out. And carefully looping it onto itself. Do the other ear. And now let's do the center of the face. And once we've done that, we're pretty much done, aside from adding the tail. So there's our little baby panda. Now you look to see that all teardrops are catching. And let's go ahead and put a hook inside that forehead peg there and create a slip knot. And now he's ready to come off the loom, and very carefully using your hook to help you get him off the loom. And once he's off, you will need to adjust his eyes and everything, and he should be able to stand on all four or sit upright. So carefully there he is. You can push his eyes out. You can adjust the rubber bands. He's not going to look totally perfect out off the loom there, but you'll always need to adjust a little bit to get it perfectly how you want him. But there he is, super tiny compared to the daddy one. If you want him to sit, go ahead and go under his chin and pull his neck up so he's looking upwards, and pull his legs down so he'll be on all fours like that. He won't tip as much if you keep working it and pulling on him. But let's make the tail here. For the tail, we're going to make it super tiny, and if you want his body extra thick, go ahead and add more rubber bands. So for his tail, we're going to take a single black, we'll put it on the end of the loom there, take a single black again, and we're going to loop it around 4 times like that. And now we are going to go ahead and loop it up and onto itself, and this single rubber band, his tail will be super tiny. So we're just going to take it off, and that's the single that we have there. We'll be using it to put it on our panda baby. So go ahead and reach in behind on his bottom there. Grab the rubber bands and put your hook through the loops and go ahead and pull it up. And like creating a slip knot, you're going to push his tail right over, right inside there. There's his tiny little tail. And there he is. Again, adjust his eyes and everything to the way you want. But that's your baby. Thanks for watching.